Good morning, folks, and happy Sunday. Today is going to be day 76 working down here at the ranch. Got here a little bit early, I'm not going to lie. I've been sitting here for about 30 minutes just enjoying the peace and quiet. It's a pretty quiet Sunday morning. Weather's pretty nice right now. I think it's going to heat up as the day goes on. It seems like all the videos I'm watching, everybody's dealing with this heat, so y'all stay safe out there, because it's been brutal, that is for sure. But today I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a cleanup job on the bottom here, try to get this stuff weed-eated out of here. I'm probably gonna work my way down to the ditch over there and get it weed-eated up. I may come in and knock down some of these little shrubs that are around these bigger trees, but we're gonna see about how far I get today before it gets too hot. But I'd like to get the brush hog in around these little trees down here, right there along that little gully, and see if I can kind of get that knocked out. And if I can, then this bottom, at least on this side of the road, this side of the driveway, is pretty much done until I'm ready to actually probably bring in some dirt and some grass seed and try to get some grass growing down here. But we're gonna see how long we can work before it gets too hot. Day 76, here we go. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to welcome in my new subscribers. I definitely appreciate you joining us for this journey. If you think you're going to learn anything, you're probably not, so I do apologize for that. I still haven't quite figured out why it is that I bring myself out here on the hottest days of the summer and punish myself by carrying around a weed eater all day and knocking down weeds that probably, if I would have jumped on them a lot sooner, they probably wouldn't be so overgrown. But here we are, down in the ditch, weed eating. I think by this time it was already about 90 degrees outside. I'm probably exaggerating, but I don't think I'm exaggerating by that much. It was a hot one, I'm just saying. This video would be about 40 minutes long if I showed all the videos of me checking the camera to make sure that it's on. Again, you'd think I'd had that figured out by now, but believe it or not, folks, I'm not like a professional cameraman. I'm just some fool who got a hold of a camera. All right, well, got a bunch of that knocked out of there. Got to go up and get some more gas, but it's funny how your mind will trick you a little bit, because I came down here yesterday just to see how wet it was, and when I drove by this area, I'm like, that won't be bad at all. 5 minutes tops. Yeah, well, so much for that. I don't know why it's so thick and rugged right in there, but it's thick and rugged right in there. And it looks like I'm gonna have to clean out my ditch again, try to get some of that stuff back up on the driveway. I put some of that clay that I had up in there and kind of packed it in a couple weeks ago, or a week or so ago, and that little rain washed it out, and it just seems like it's never ending the task. It's like you get one thing done and then all of a sudden 5 or 6 more things pop up. But anyway, I'm gonna go get some more gas, hang out in the shade for a second because it's already warming up. I'm gonna try to finish off that ditch down there, try to go down the long part of the ditch there and get it done, and then we may get this brush hog out See if we can clean up this other little area. Here we go. Well, I got this little project done. I say little project. That was a lot more of a beast than I was expecting, but I was gonna record, but once I started going, I just wanted to go and get it done. So I got the ditch cleaned up. I think once it's a little bit wet over here and a little bit wet over here, but I think once this dries out, I'm gonna get my tractor. I'm gonna scoop all that stuff out of there, try to get that cleaned up again. But got that ditch cleaned up and done. This little area, I just need to get my clippers down here and clip some of this stuff out of here. But that side over there is a whole other beast, which interestingly enough, when I first came down here, this was the side over here that I was really trying to get cleaned up. And yeah, that's what it looks like when you don't get it cleaned up. But I think I'm gonna take me a little break, and then we're gonna get the brush hog along this little tree line right in here. See if we can get that cleaned up a little bit. See how close to being done I can get. It is heating up big time. So luckily it's kind of shaded right there. Hopefully it'll stay shaded for a little bit, but here we go. I do have some pretty good news though. I set up 4 of the trail cameras yesterday when I came down to see how wet it was, and it was actually pretty wet. It was pretty muddy, so I decided I didn't want to tromp around in the mud all day, but I did get the trail cams set back up. I had a pretty good feeling I would not be tromping around in the mud today because, of course, yesterday it was about 275 degrees outside, and pretty much any amount of rain that we did get, you couldn't even tell by like noon yesterday. So I decided to come on down here early and try to beat the heat, but that didn't go to plan. And well, I pretty much tricked myself when I thought, it'll be over there in the shade. It's not going to be too bad. We're not even going to really be in the sun, surely. We'll have a little bit of a breeze out there, kind of keeping us cooled down. But again, that really wasn't the case. So I go back to what I said earlier. I'm not sure why I come out here and punish myself. Is it freaking winter time yet, or at least fall? I could go for some fall weather right about now. This is the main reason I've been keeping myself locked inside in the air conditioning, folks. I'm pretty sure I was like borderline what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know the word. Heat stroke-ish, I'll say. I about had heat stroke. I was definitely dehydrated last week. My hands were all cramping up and my feet were cramping up, and I was drinking lots of liquid too. It is another scorcher. I got here early. It wasn't terrible when I got here, but even down here in the shade. Anyway, enough complaining. There's a tree laying in there. There's a big tree stump right there. I'm gonna have to go get the clippers and clip around that little tree right there and do some weed eating. But I'm about halfway home. That little part right there looks like it's gonna be a little bit of a beast too, but I got the hiccups, and I gotta grab some shade for a minute and drink me some water. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do much more if I actually do get this done. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's gonna get any cooler, that's for sure. Here we go. All right, well, came back through, clipped off some of them little smaller trees, weed eated around the trees and around the big stumps and stuff. But I made it about halfway. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to try to finish up. I think I'm going to walk up here and drink a couple Gatorades. It is I am going downhill fast, folks. I'm going downhill fast, but I'll check in with you one way or the other. I'm going to try to get a little bit hydrated here, get under the shade, into the shade for a little bit. The shade's not really helping. There was a little breeze earlier and it's gone. So I'm going to go take a break and decide if I'm going to try to finish up this little area down here. Here we go. Just in case you were wondering, heat stroke-ish is not actually a word. You probably couldn't use that on Scrabble or one of those Words with Friends games or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that I did have a little bit of heat stroke because I completely forgot to record that last little section where I went through and I clipped up the trees and did a little weed eating. Not that you guys exactly wanted to see that, but just so you didn't think that I was AI generated or anything like that, and I didn't actually do it myself, I should have recorded it. Yep, that's me checking the camera again to make sure that it's actually working. Hey, speaking of AI and AI robots, I am wondering if I could get me one of those things and teach it how to run the weed eater, possibly the clippers. Shoot, we may as well teach it how to do the rake. Well, folks, I won't lie. I didn't get near as much done today as I was really hoping I was going to get done. But I think out there when I was working that ditch, there was no shade, no breeze, and it pretty much zapped me. But I've got, I'd say half of this little section down here done, maybe a little over half. I'm kind of getting into the rough parts now. There's a bunch of tree stumps just under the ground right there. There's a big mound right there. But I've also got a big tree right there that I'll probably just work around, and eventually one time when I have my grapple, I'll see if I can get a hold of it. I know it's been laying on the ground since I bought the place, so I imagine it's probably dead and probably gonna fall apart as soon as I touch it. But anyway, I got about 4.5 hours in out here before the sun completely ran me off. I'm supposed to meet with the septic tank guy in the morning, or not in the morning, tomorrow afternoon. And we're gonna figure out the septic tank situation. After that's done, I'm pretty much done with my big projects for a while. So I can kind of get back focused on opening up the trails, cleaning up some more of these areas here, getting them opened up. I really want to start working on some trails. I'm hoping it's getting ready to get into the cooler months, and we can do a couple more little camp outs. And if nothing else, I'll get my grill going, cook up some food and hang out, maybe watch a football game or two. But I hope everybody's had a great weekend. Hope everybody's staying cool out there. Don't overdo it, folks. It's not worth it. Day 76. We'll catch you next time.